guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today my family and I are taking a quick trip to Times Square in New York City. We'll be staying at the iconic Hard Rock Hotel, catching the Broadway musical Mamma Mia, going all the way up to the top of the Empire State Building, and of course, finding time to explore and enjoy other adventures along the way. It's a short trip, but we're packing in as much as we can, so please sit back, relax, and come along with us for a little trip to the Big Apple. I have just 3 short days before I start college, and this trip is perfectly timed as the last hurrah of the summer. This is my 4th time visiting New York City and my 4th time seeing a Broadway show there, but we'll get to that later. This is my first time, however, staying overnight in the city that never sleeps. We finally made it through the busy streets of New York and arrived at the Hard Rock Hotel, right in the heart of Times Square. Valet took care of the car, thank goodness, because driving in the city is scary, and we headed up to our room to settle in. I loved all the musical touches in the decor, from the sound wave lights on the walls to the guitar pick door stopper. Even Lady Gaga was printed on the bathroom door. Sadly, I didn't get a clip of that. But overall, the room was very welcoming and the view wasn't too shabby either. I especially enjoyed people watching from our window over 19 stories above the bustling streets. The first order of business on our trip was getting outside and seeing Times Square. It was my dad and brother's first real time in the city, so after driving through it, it was about time to see the view and get the hype on foot. We wandered the streets, started figuring out what was on our bucket list, and even checked visiting the iconic M&M store off the list. After that, we headed back to the Hard Rock Hotel for dinner, which was absolutely delicious. We couldn't spend too much time at dinner that evening though, because we had reservations to visit the Empire State Building that night. We walked through the city to reach the building, and I can say with certainty that it was a completely different experience seeing New York from above. Making my way up such a massive, iconic building while learning about its architectural history made it even more special, especially knowing it was once the tallest building in the world. I also loved seeing all the movies and TV shows the Empire State Building has been featured in over the years. It's crazy to think how many famous scenes have taken place there, and just how many important and famous people have visited this remarkable tourist destination. We made it to the top just in time to catch the sunset, and it definitely felt like we weren't the only ones with that idea. It's one of the most popular times for tourists to visit the observatory deck. It was a bit of a bummer just how crowded it got, since there were moments that we were shoulder to shoulder and could see nothing but a sea of people. But whenever an opening appeared, the view was absolutely breathtaking. Standing there, watching the city with a glowing golden hue as the sun went down was an experience I'll never forget, and certainly a great way to end our first day in New York City. The next morning, we stepped right next door to a grocery/convenience store and deli to grab a coffee and kick off the day. It's super conveniently located if you're staying at the Hard Rock Hotel or are in the area and looking for a quick bite. But if deli food isn't quite what you're craving, there's a not-so-hidden gem just steps away serving up delicious New York-style pizza called Little Italy Pizza. On the way back to the hotel on the first night, we noticed just how popular this little pizza shop was. So when we stopped back for lunch, it was surprisingly not busy at all, which made it an even better experience. The crust was covered in breadcrumbs, the sauce was sweet and delicious, and overall, we had 0 complaints when it came to flavor or convenience. In the meantime, my brother and dad made their way to the corner hot dog stand because my brother was eager to try a classic New York street dog, though my mom also shared some of her pizza with him. This ended up being one of the food highlights of the trip, and if the pigeons could talk, they'd tell you it's their favorite place in the city to hunt for breadcrumbs. Today we spent most of the day in Times Square doing all the classic touristy things, visiting Hershey's Chocolate World, stopping by the Disney store, climbing the iconic red steps in Times Square, soaking in the massive billboards, and doing a little shopping along the way. No matter how many times you see it on TV, Times Square really does feel overwhelming in the best way, with bright lights in every direction and something happening on every corner. One of the biggest highlights was the Hershey store, which has a one-of-a-kind New York City experience called Reese's Stuff Your Cup. You get to create your own giant Reese's peanut butter cup by choosing custom fillings that are mixed together and sealed inside a huge chocolate shell. This experience is exclusive to New York City, so it had been on our bucket list for a while, and spoiler alert, it was definitely fun and very sweet to try it in real life. Fun facts about Times Square. It's one of the most visited tourist attractions in the world, welcoming tens of millions of people every year. The massive digital advertisements are on 24/7, and they are so bright that they're regulated by the city, which is why Times Square never really gets dark. Between the costumed characters, street performers, flashing screens, and nonstop crowds, it's easily one of the most energetic and chaotic places in New York City, and a must-see if you're visiting for the first time. We made a quick stop back at the hotel to freshen up, then headed to the Hard Rock Cafe for dinner. Afterward, we were off to see Mamma Mia on Broadway. Dinner was so yummy, and the restaurant is always a good time with great music, food, and vibes. The Hard Rock Cafe in Times Square is one of the biggest locations in the world and is packed with iconic rock memorabilia. It's definitely more than just a meal. It's a full music-themed experience right in the heart of the city. Once we were finished our meals, we walked to the Winter Garden Theater to see Mamma Mia. The line wrapped around the building, and they even handed out some fun Mamma Mia sunglasses while we waited. I'm a big fan of ABBA's music, but I wasn't very familiar with the story of Mamma Mia, so I was excited to experience it on Broadway for the first time, and it definitely didn't disappoint. A fun fact about the show: Mamma Mia originally opened on Broadway in 2001 and went on to become one of the longest-running musicals in Broadway history. The entire show is built around ABBA's iconic hits like Dancing Queen, Take a Chance on Me, and The Winner Takes It All. The performance was a blast, hearing some of my favorite classics live, seeing the incredibly talented cast, and admiring the fun, vibrant costumes made the night unforgettable. The view from our seats wasn't too shabby either, and the applause from the audience definitely speaks for itself. After the show, I even got some signatures from the cast, my first time ever doing that. After the show, we grabbed a sweet treat at Carvel and then used our room service credit to order some late-night snacks back at the hotel. And can we talk about this cheesecake? Absolutely delicious. I had an absolute blast during my first overnight stay in New York City. Even though I wasn't able to capture every moment that made this family trip so special, I'm glad I could film this short video to share a little slice of the Big Apple with you. We packed up our bags and stopped by our new favorite pizza spot, Little Italy, for lunch before grabbing the car and hitting the road back home. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for tuning in and being part of the ride. For more beginner travel and tourist adventures like this one, don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, bye!